people will hear music from adverts and all sorts, and they'll suddenly sort of think, oh goodness, wow, that's a classical music piece. That's how it sounds in its full entirety. So yeah, it's great. And if we can get more people along to our concerts, even better.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
It is Get Radio Breakfast and it is Band Week. And my next guest, who everyone already knows because it's been on air, is Grace from the Oxford Symphony Orchestra. Morning, Grace. How are you?
Good morning, Rich. I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us. Apologies for throwing you live on air in 20 seconds after we first chatted. We've got so many wonderful people on this morning, yourself included. Tell us a little bit about the Oxford Symphony Orchestra, because I guess this has been going quite some time.
Yeah, so Oxford Symphony Orchestra has been going for quite some time. We are Oxford's leading non-professional orchestra, and we do 3 concerts a year. And we also do some external arrangements, which obviously is happening now with Truck. So we are, as I say, we're non-professional orchestra, so we're not paid for it. We actually pay to join the orchestra and play for the pure pleasure of it. We have a professional conductor who comes up from London, Robert Max, and we are led by the brilliant Marriott Richter, who is a local well-known Oxford teacher and retired now, I believe. And we approach sort of big works, really. We do big orchestral works that other orchestras can't often do, because when we're full strength, we can be 75 players on stage. Whoa. So you can imagine in Oxford, it's quite difficult to get a venue for that. So we play in the town hall, and we usually do 1 concert a year in the Sheldonian Theatre as well. But those are our main venues.
I wanted to talk about sort of almost bring it sort of bang up to date, because in terms of orchestral music, I think people have seen a little bit of a shift in the sound of orchestral music. There's obviously the music, from the 1900s and beyond, your classical music, if you will, that's going on there.
Yeah.
But also, and I'll cite Pete Tong and James Buckley, the orchestra that's happened there. The orchestra is now being orchestral music is now being put to pop songs, to dance music songs, to different songs. And have you noticed that swing fairly recently, in all honesty?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think it's come on the scene in the last few years. I mean, I can't really remember the first time, I suppose, it happened, but it's suddenly sort of been an explosion. And you notice now that all the big festivals at, Festival even and other big festivals like that, they do tend to have these large orchestras playing. And we played for the first time at Truck in 2017. And when I was chair of the orchestra, an email landed in my inbox and invited us along. They said, we're thinking of having a classical orchestra. So it came from then. And I just jumped at the chance and thought this would be great fun. And why not? Give it a go. And here we are again 5 years later. And absolutely, we are the opening act on the main stage. And we have a crowd of 15,000, 20,000 people. It's absolutely phenomenal.
It's amazing.
If we can, we're appealing to a very different audience, but it's great.
What I say kudos and more power to you for that email landing in your inbox and you kind of going, wait a minute, this is awesome, rather than going, hang on, no, unfortunately the acoustics won't be as good. This is not what we're not going to do. That it's an amazing thing that you kind of embrace and do that, and seeing the videos on TikTok and what have you from last year. I mean, it was wild. It was one of the indie bands was on there.
Yeah, we feared for the audience safety at one point, but
they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Don't worry about them. They'll be fine.
I think it's all perfectly well managed. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's quite off-putting in a way, because you're playing away and you're just so blown away by the excitement in the crowd. And when the weather's good, which it's been pretty good, it's been in our favour in the last few years, you can practically feel the stage sort of moving and the dust rising from the floor, because they're moshing to Strauss, which is unheard of. So, and then there's
greatest quote ever, Grace. Moshing to Strauss. I'm clipping that off. That's brilliant. Moshing to Strauss. There we are.
It's amazing, and it's wonderful to see. And if we can, attract sort of even a few people after that to classical music and open their ears to it, then all the better, really. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, again, you're going to be at Truck. You're going to be heading down there and setting up and playing early doors
Yeah.
on the Saturday. Yes, I can see that in your face. Yes, oh, that's coming up. What can we? Any little tidbits that we can expect from that? Any unusual surprises? Or are we keeping it secret?
There will be a very unusual surprise, which obviously I can't reveal on air.
Nearly.
It's going to be a really big cracker this year. So I would definitely encourage people to watch out and listen out and be there. We're going to do our usual mix of pop classics and some lovely classical pieces as well. But the soloists this year, I say soloists, that's the only clue I can give you.
Okay.
Are big. So yeah, we're hoping for dry weather.
Oh dear, I feel that if I prodded Grace just a little bit more, I feel the name might slip out. But I'm not going to. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to allow Grace to move away without.
Yeah, we actually only revealed it to Truck last week. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's quite quiet.
I love it. Well, look, it is amazing. I absolutely adore the way that this kind of music has gone. And like you said, it's opening more doors for people to enjoy what is, the quintessential, the start of music. And going back from there and playing stuff, from nowadays as well, opening all those doors to so many people.
And I think, people will hear music from adverts and all sorts, and they'll suddenly sort of think, oh, goodness, wow, that's a classical music piece. That's how it sounds in its full entirety. So yeah, it's great. And if we can get more people along to our concerts, even better.
No, absolutely. Where can people find out a little bit more about the Oxford Symphony because of those concerts you mentioned?
Yeah, we have a website, oxfordsymphonyorchestra.org, and we also have now an Instagram and a Facebook page, which is, we try to sort of keep up to date. We're not as up on our socials as we probably should be, but we're getting there.
Brilliant stuff. Grace, it's been an absolute joy and a pleasure catching up with you. Enjoy Truck Festival. One last question. Are you camping there?
I will not be camping. We're rehearsing at 8:30 in the morning prior to the gig. So we have our rehearsal in the Village Hall in Steventon, and then we all hoof it straight up and get our wristbands, and we get on stage for sound check, and off we go. It's brilliant. 12:30 we'll be on the main stage, so come and see us. No, make sure you do. I know loads of people will be kind of probably waking up at that point and going, actually, I quite fancy that. Yes. So I'm sure they will. Grace, thank you so much for joining. It's been an absolute joy and a pleasure.